Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Yeah. Welcome to another edition of the Views from the Friendzone podcast. It's your boy, Bill Talk Mauve. We have half a team with us today, so it's going to be the his versus hers kind of show, where it's a debate between myself and Amanda Greedy Gut. We'll go through some topics, talk about things currently going on, and social media or entertainment and things like that, things particular that's been like really drawing interest to me, so I wanted us to talk about it. Shout out to everybody who's at the CIAA in North Carolina with the HBCUs.
I was supposed to be there.
Yeah, I was supposed to go too, but I fronted. But I hope you guys are having a good time. Shout out to Cliff and Mike. They had to take care of business, family stuff, so we'll miss them this episode, but we're trying our best not to disappoint. So, like I said, I'm your boy, Real Talk Mauve. I'm going to have my co-host introduce herself.
Amanda, a.k.a. Greedy Gut with the little butt. No, I'm playing.
Greedy Gut with the little butt. That's funny. But yeah, so, before we get into the show, it's been a lot of dragging of, like, Jordan Woods and the Khloe Kardashian thing. And a lot of people, I'm big on energy, right? So I always feel like keep that same energy, right? And I feel like the Kardashian women have been famous for stealing or taking somebody's man and not caring and even crapping on their friends. But all of a sudden, they're trying to be a victim in this particular circumstance,
Yes.
So, I just feel like they need to keep that same energy. What do you think about that?
I think the same exact thing. I don't know too much about the story. I go in the shade room from time to time, and I laugh at a couple of comments and shit. But, I mean, what is it? How you get them is how you lose them? Because I heard that she was a side chick. Was she a side chick?
She wasn't in a couple of circumstances. Shout out to my boy, David Braff. He put me on to, like, something where it reminded me. Lauren London was in her wedding party when she married Lamar Odom.
Okay.
And then when Lauren London was messing with Trey Songz, she started messing with Trey Songz.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
Trina was supposed to be her people's, and she also messed with French Montana, who was Trina's ex. Yeah. There's another relationship where she messed with someone's ex or kind of thing. I can't think of it on my hand, but the Kardashians are no strangers.
Right.
They're no strangers to that, and you know what? My thing about it is I'm a big believer in energy, so it's just like Tristan, when she was pregnant with True, got caught kissing women in in New York. I think it's.
My thing is, you think it's karma or energy? Because right now you're saying you believe in the energy. It's energy, almost sounding like karma as well.
Yeah, but energy to me also is just like what you put out is what you get back.
Right.
It could be karma. It could also be. I believe karma is supposed to be like if you sit tight, whatever bad you done is going to return to you kind of thing. But I also think it's the energy as well, like your active current activity. Like now all of a sudden she's blaming Jordan for breaking up her home when she didn't care about. She got with Tristan when his girlfriend was pregnant with their child.
That I didn't know. Yeah.
So let's jump into the show because it kind of flows into that kind of concept.
Let's do this.
And it's cheating. There's levels to it, right? And because to me, cheating is not one broad stroke of a paintbrush. There's levels to it. There's reasons why. There's certain things, right? Because you can be with someone who doesn't cheat, but they treat you like crap. They don't care about you. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care how you're feeling. Treat you like crap. They just don't put their sexual parts with another person's sexual parts. But you might as well not even be in a relationship with them. So is that person a better person for you than a person who might have cheated but always treats you good and like cheated because they made a mistake, but that's not how they actively are? So there's levels to cheating, right? So, and the first question is,
how many levels are there to cheating?
Well,
like, what are these levels? It's either you cheat or you don't.
Because it's like a crime. It's like a crime, right? Murdering somebody and stealing somebody's wallet is not the same thing. There's levels to crime. There's levels to
But
cheating.
we're talking about one particular crime, right? And that one particular crime is cheating.
Okay,
so
assault.
how many levels?
If I take my finger and poke you on the shoulder, that's
yes.
But that might be assault with the intent to injure, or maybe even an assault.
How many levels are in cheating? How many levels are in cheating? It's either you cheat or you don't fucking cheat.
It's like, did you cheat or did you cheat? Nah,
there's levels of the reason why you would cheat, but there's only one cheating, and the cheating.
No, because if I'm every night on the phone, you know, talking to a woman, and we're talking,
right,
and I'm building a rapport with her on a emotional connection, but our sexual parts have never touched, I cheated.
That's one level.
If I'm bringing a woman home and sleeping in my bed,
that's emotionally cheating.
So, but is it the same thing that if I, you know, I come home and I bring a whole nother baby home? Like, is that the same thing?
All right, so that's the levels. All right, so first level is emotional, right?
Yeah.
Second is physical. Third is fucking breaking horrible barriers, like having babies.
It's levels to it. So
yeah.
So one of the things I want to concentrate on is the fact that, and I was a little sexist the way I formed the question, right? Because I had to realize that, you know what, I said this first sub question is, why do some women blame the person their partner cheated with more than their partner?
And you should have said,
but why do people, right? Because sometimes men, their egos go out the roof and they catch their partner cheating, and they wind up, you know, killing the dude that they found in bed with the woman. Yeah. And that dude may or not know you existed.
Yeah.
But you put all your energy towards killing that person.
You see somebody fucking your wife or your spouse. Like, once you see that, you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
The first thing is you're thinking to yourself, I don't know this motherfucker, so let me get him first.
Yeah.
This trick I live with. This motherfucker I never seen, so let me fuck him up now while I can. And I'll deal with this person, my spouse, later on. She's going to have to come back home.
But the reason what made me more think about the woman thing is because I thought about the Kardashian thing. Like, Khloe has the nerve to say, oh, Jordan, you broke up my home. Tristan is Thot. He's Tatiana. He's a male Tatiana.
All right.
Right? And don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting there. The Jordan thing, she defended herself on Red Table Talk, and I didn't watch it completely.
I didn't watch it. I have no idea.
I saw a glimpse of it and stuff. And, a lot of people are coming to Jordan's defense. And my thing about it is, Khloe is just completely going at Jordan. And I'm like, your dude did this when you was pregnant.
What is she saying about Tristan?
She's not. She's saying that, they need to work things out, but Jordan is breaking up their home. And I'm like, yo, he's getting the complete pass. And as a man, I should support, like, bro code and stuff like that. But to me, I'm thinking it's the mentality that we got to tackle, right? And I feel a lot of times, women and men, but sometimes I think more so women, will defend their man and saying, oh, these tramps are out here trying to get my man, is this, that, and the other. And like, yo, cheating is a two people dance.
It is a two people dance, but it all depends.
So please explain to me, why do you feel like Khloe's giving Tristan the pass? What do you think?
Shit, I don't know, because if I was in her situation, nobody's getting a fucking pass. The both of them are out of my lives. That's it. Yeah. She wants to hold on to something, maybe because
it's her child father, right? It's a child father. Like when you have a kid, their kid is, if one or maybe a little bit older than one, I don't even remember. Mm-hmm. It's like you want your best for your child to have mom and pops in the picture. Tristan, it's not like Tristan some broke dude. Khloe don't need Tristan as far as raising her child, right? She has resources. She has a big family and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's nice. A lot of people always say, I want my child to grow up in the house with mom and pops. That's ideal.
Yeah.
That's the nuclear structure that we all strive for.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times I think women kind of stick up for their man more than men stick up for their women.
That's because you guys have egos and shit. Somebody cheats on you, it's like, oh, the whole fucking world is over. for a lot of women, they're thinking emotionally like, oh, I love him and he's my man, this, that, and the third. I can forgive him. Maybe I could. My ego's too fucking big. You cheat on me, goodbye. Yeah. But some people just hold on to that shit. So I feel like maybe that's what it could be.
Yeah.
And you guys can't handle a woman cheating on you. You can't handle giving a pussy away. You can't. Say something. Say something, Marv, because you know I'm right.
I think, and you know what? You're right. And you know what?
Thank you. Wait, you say that shit one more time.
You're right. And you want to know why you're right? Because I feel like a woman, her man cheats, and she doesn't necessarily think it's all because of her shortcomings. She just feels that's how men are. Men are dogs. Men are this, that, and the other. I did everything that I can. But a man be like, yo, I think I'm giving a good pipe. I think I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Why does she need anybody else? I'm the alpha and omega in the situation. I should be all that she needs. And a woman knows that she can be everything to a man, and a man can still go out there and do what he needs to do.
Absolutely.
I just feel like it's like, wow, I'm watching social media, and like the women are dragging, either women are dragging Jordan or dragging Chloe for like, oh, that's what you get.
All right.
But Tristan's out here living the good life. Like, nobody's sweating him.
But that's why he probably does what he does, because he knows he can get away with the bullshit and still come back around to the pussy and to his white. They're married? I don't even fucking know.
No, they're girlfriend and boyfriend.
Okay.
A lot of people saying he don't even really want to be with her.
Probably not.
But it's just like, you know, I don't know if he's caught up in the limelight. He likes the Kardashian extra look kind of thing. Okay. So next question on this topic is the levels of cheating. Not all cheating is created equal, right? So is there a cheating that you would allow? Is there a cheating that you can bounce back from? Like, you always talk this bravado that, oh, if he cheats,
I've been here before, so I can talk about it. But I think
there's levels to it.
Let me tell you something. My second boyfriend cheated on me really bad. Got women pregnant. I still forgave him.
Yeah.
What else did he do? Had multiple women, basically, and I forgave him. That was the old me. I'm in my 30s right now. I don't have time for the bullshit and games. If you can't be a grown man and be faithful, fuck you, and I move on to the next. Yeah. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not, oh, I talk this and I talk that. I've been there before, so I will never forgive someone again. Never. I don't care if we're married. I don't care if we've been together for a certain amount of years. You cross that line. When I was with him and I forgave him, the thing that kept crossing my mind was, while we're having intimate moments, is him fucking somebody else. If I can't get past that, then I can't be with you. So therefore, goodbye. So in my mind, while we were sexual, I'm like, shit, he was doing the same girl like this, or he was kissing her the same way. I don't want it no more. You gave it away. Fuck out of my life. Okay. And I'll get somebody in my life that deserves me.
Let's say you're married for a long time.
I've never been married, but I'm going to answer to this. Okay. I'm going to answer this the way I could.
Okay, so you're married or you're with someone for a long term, y'all rocking now, and then you catch spicy messages. That doesn't necessarily convict the person, but it seems like there's intention for something to go down.
Okay.
Which is technically cheating if you follow the letter of the law.
Yeah, it's cheating.
Are you done with that person?
I would say maybe 80% done. And the other 20 would be from, like, I would ask him. That's where the communication comes in. Okay. It should have been there, but why did you feel the need to reach out to such and such? You know, and then maybe he'll explain to me, because you don't talk to me anymore while you're at work and I need someone to talk to, or you don't do this anymore and I feel like such and such could do it. And then I don't know. It all depends from that moment. Am I going to forgive him and say, well, stop talking to Jessica, you know what I mean? And let's work on us. Or am I going to say, well, you already had had it in your mind that you were going to go out there and fuck with somebody else in the first place.
It's levels. That's why I always say it's levels to it, right?
It is levels, but could you stop temptation? So already he's texting another girl.
We're all exposed to temptation.
He's texting another woman, right? Already in his mind, he's like, yo, I'm texting her to probably smash, more than likely, if they're saying spicy shit. Yeah. You can ask him to stop, but is he really going to stop? Or he's going to be like, damn, I want to stop, but now I want to see what Jessica feel like.
Yeah, no, but sometimes sometimes you catch somebody before they commit a crime, and you could necessarily
talk them out of it.
You
can't talk a dude out of getting no new pussy. Okay?
No, but I always wonder, like, I've never been in a situation as far as, like, I've been cheated on before my current marriage. I don't know if I was...
Did you forgive?
One situation I kind of forgave because we kind of was on some... like the Friends episode, we were on a break kind of thing.
Okay, that's not really cheating.
Right, because this is my thing. You see, that's the gray area of cheating, right? If you are in a relationship and you guys are fighting, and you kind of like, yo, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
We didn't officially break up, but we may have spent a couple of days not talking. If you go smash somebody, I feel you technically cheated because you wasn't completely released from the relationship. You just guys were kind of on a break, not talking.
So wait, I'm confused. That's not a break. That's not a break. That's we had a dispute. We're not talking for a couple of days. Some people use
that as their getaway
because they always wanted to fuck someone else. That's it.
So I say that to say this, like, you know, being married and stuff like that. if I caught my wife cheating, she always say, like, don't put that out there. Like, I'm not even like that. I understand that, but you know, anybody's eligible to cheat, right? If you have blood flowing through your veins, you can cheat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody have people that's interested in them.
Yeah, but it's a mind thing. You know, I feel like, okay, there's different reasons why people cheat, but you have to be strong enough to not cheat. Like, you just have to be strong enough. I just think with the levels
of cheating, you know, because we're quick to call everything cheating. If I caught her talking to a guy, they laughing and joking, and I'm like, "Who's
That's not cheating. She's just laughing and joking."
You didn't let me finish. You jumped on.
Oh, okay.
You jumped on my statement.
Let's go.
And she's laughing, joking with the dude, and I'm here like, I can't wait. You know, I can't wait for us to hang out. He's going out of town next week, and I'm like, right? I don't know if they already smashing. They're about to smash. I got evidence that a crime is about to be committed, but I'm not 100% sure a crime has been committed.
Now, see, it goes deeper because
right. So
is she allowed to have male friends? Like, and this type of thing is like different. Is she conversing with him, texting him? Is
you know it's tough because
what?
There's always that double standard that we always discuss about, like, you know, a guy. I hate using female. I have women friends. Why can't she have guy friends? And I'm like, you have guy friends, but they're usually like friends of the family kind of thing. And I have female friends. She's like, oh, but I had a lot of female friends when we met. She didn't have no guy friends when we met.
Okay.
So now I feel like if she pulls us, well, I need guy friends, it's weird to me because that's not...
Like, you never had that before.
So why do you need that now? And I fell back from a lot of female friends because either... the dynamic didn't work for my relationship, or they didn't really care for my relationship, so I needed to separate space. But I say that to say this. There's levels to cheating, and we have to address it accordingly. I just feel like we also have to realize, like, you know, this is my forgive or not forgive kind of thing, right?
I'm listening.
You have to... you have to put me on to, like, what's going on, what caused this kind of thing, right? Because I'm big on... you know, discussing or talking about the problems and stuff like that. You know? But if you cheat and you was just like, yo, I just feel like I needed to cheat. I wanted to try something different and stuff like that. I'd be hurt. I don't know if I could forgive that. Okay. But if I was told, like, yo, I've been asking you for this and you've been treating me like crap, and I kept saying I need this from you, and you just ignored me, and this person found me in a weak moment and gave me what wasn't given to me after I've asked you numerous times, I would have to consider, like, man, I am a contributor to this.
To the reason why she cheated.
Exactly. A lot of men won't say that. So
that's forgivable for you.
A lot of men won't say that, but to me, that's a forgivable offense if even though you can't force someone to cheat, but if I know I wasn't handling my business in one way or the other, and that's what caused the cheating, you have to consider having that conversation before you break up the relationship. That's how I feel. But you feel like any form of cheating is a dub.
I can't trust you after that. Once there's no trust, there's no relationship. I'm not going to be able to trust you. So now, when you're at work, are you talking to her now, or are you talking to a new girl? Or, you know what I mean? In my mind, it's going to always be, can I trust him now? That he's gonna stop, or that he stops. Like, come on. Yeah.
I also feel.
I don't want to feel like that.
I also feel like there's also levels of cheating where it's just like, you know,
I found her laughing, kikiing with someone. I didn't hear any quote unquote keywords that anything was going on, but you felt the energy that the person had with this person.
Maybe it was a flirtatious energy. Is flirting cheating? It all depends.
That's the thing, right?
Like,
it's flirting cheating
to...
because I think if you consider flirting cheating, I think that's a form of cheating everyone does, whether consciously or subconsciously.
Question, do you consider flirting cheating? I'm just curious.
I don't, because
I don't.
If I answer that question to you with ego, I'm like, yeah, if she flirts, she cheating. That's disrespect. But me knowing human interaction,
yeah,
sometimes flirting happens, and it's just the part of human interaction.
Yeah, I agree.
Some men talk to women in a way that forces them to kind of flirt back. Just on the nature of, even in business world and stuff like that. Sometimes you have conversations where you're not being appropriate. You be like, oh man, look at how lovely you look today. That dress, nobody could wear that dress like you wearing it. And you're doing
I was about to say, because a compliment is not really flirting. But when you keep going with what you just said.
And then the person like, you know what? I'm out here killing them. You know what I'm saying? It just, sometimes that happens. And I say that to say this. My ego will tell me that's that kind of flirt and cheating. My thing about it is, I know that everyone's capable to have that, so I don't sweat that.
Yeah.
Don't do that in my face.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm on some like, yo, however you carry yourself outside of my presence, do I want to be disrespected? No. But I'm not sitting there worrying like, yo, how many guys you spoke to today? What did they ask you about?
Kind of creepy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
it's too much.
But if we out to dinner and the waitress come to her, I'm like, sweetheart, you looking good. Just
hey, baby.
In front of my wife or the person, that's not cheating. That's a disrespect kind of thing.
Disrespect, absolutely.
All right, so the last question on this topic, in cheating, the levels to it is, and this is kind of a devil advocate kind of question, right? It's like, do you think you can justify cheating as seeing what's out there before you leave completely?
That's like asking, is the grass greener on the other side? Right. And I think a lot of times when people cheat, they also cheat with that intention in their mind, like, maybe she's better than my wife, or maybe the pussy's better, or maybe, and you test the waters and it still may seem green, and you might leave your wife for this person, and then what you're going to do if it's the same bullshit you were going through with your wife?
That's what makes the whole cheating thing tough, because we all make cheating seem like it's black and white. I don't have kids. Okay. If I had 4 kids at home. Me and wife been together 20 years. I have all this going on.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I found out that she cheated.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm heartbroken. Now I'm like, oh, she got to go this and the other. But then I also got to think about, we got 4 kids.
Okay. Can I chime in now?
The kids need us both and stuff like that. Is she out here just randomly cheating? Was this an isolated situation? You got to consider the factors. Did she... And then the question I asked is, she cheated to see what else is out there, and is she ready to leave? Did she cheat, and now she's just like, yo, I know whatever out there is not worth it, and I'm trying to refocus on to here. It's tough, right?
Okay.
Because, every man say, oh, she cheating, it's a dub. But then when they cheat, they're like, yo, we got to work this out. She got to find a way to forgive us. And I feel equal energy. I feel like anything I'm capable to go out there and do can happen to me. And I have to be prepared for that to come home. So do you think going out there to cheat to see what's out there before you step out, do you think that's a justifiable reason for cheating? As bad as it sounds, it makes sense to me. I don't know if I'm a man and I'm trying to make sense of something that's crazy, but sometimes it's just like, yo, am I really going to go out there and leave what I got at home because I'm trying to scratch an itch? Or maybe you scratch your itch and realize, like, you know what? I shouldn't be out here scratching that itch, but at the same time, I realize, you know what? Home is good. I need to focus on what's going on at home.
All right, first I want to comment on what you said about having 4 kids, married for 20 years. Once again, everyone is different. But the person that cheated on you wasn't thinking that shit. They weren't thinking, I've been with this woman for 20 years and I have 4 kids. Let me work on this, work on my temptation, get my shit together. That's the first thing I'm going to say. They didn't think about them. I'm going to say I have multiple friends that married early, have about 2 kids, some of them 4. They do try to work it out, but it just still isn't shit. And, they did cheat. My thing is...
The friends who cheated,
They're not even together anymore.
But men, women, both?
It was actually guys that cheated.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just feel, in terms of, we're just going to stay together for the family, I cannot stress. I mean, this is for me. I can't stress the feeling of happiness. If I'm miserable with somebody, and we've been together 20 years with 4 kids, that does not mean, I want to try to keep my family together just for this image or just to make sure that they're okay. I'm never going to be okay if I'm in that 20-year relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to be all right. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be miserable thinking to myself, we've been together 20 years, we have 4 kids, he cheated on me, but we're trying to work, and you're just stressing yourself out with making it work. It's, first of all, both parties have to want to make it work. Let's start off by saying that. Mm-hmm. But if one person feels like, you know what, I've had enough, I'm not going to stay just for my children. If that was the case, then I would be with the father of my kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the question goes, excuses for cheating, I'm sorry, is it right to do that?
I don't think it's right, but do you think that's a justifiable reason?
It's not justifiable at all. Like, it isn't.
I used to think that way.
Okay.
But I also realized that we tie so much
what?
Definition or validation of relationship that, okay, someone has been solid to the person they've been with because they never cheated.
Okay.
We don't like, has this person ever kept my best interests at hand? Has this person always took care of my needs?
All right.
Has this person always made me feel good? No. All of that could be no, but they never cheated, and all of a sudden they're still a good person.
Well, in this instance, we're talking about cheating, but of course, all of that goes deeper.
Yeah. I just feel like, you know, it's too many people like saying that, you know, cheating is the end all be all of what makes relationships end. But there's
financial and, you know, other things, emotional reasons. Like, there's different reasons. Absolutely.
If I was told, like, you know what, I was really thinking about leaving the relationship. I wasn't happy and stuff like that. I went out there and I satisfied my needs, and then I realized how much more than just scratching that itch meant to me. It would be a hard pill to swallow, but the logical me, the me thinking of the bigger picture, I would understand. I would understand that more so, because people always say this cliche thing. Oh, if you feel like there's something out there that you want,
tell me.
No.
Oh.
Break up, end this relationship, and then go try it. And I'm just like, sometimes
that's the way. Any other way would be selfish.
Yeah. But
wouldn't any other way be selfish?
But to me, it's just like, you throw away 10, 15, 20 years because of a one night situation. Obviously, no one wants to be on the other end of that. But why don't we have the realistic conversation and say, you know what? So sometimes people. I'm not sitting there saying go out there and make your relationship an open relationship, right? Because some people can't stomach that. But my thing about it is, I feel like we need to have the conversations of cheating and the repercussions of cheating, and let's talk about. Sometimes relationship was doomed or damaged way before the cheating happened. The cheating is a symptom.
Okay.
Right? But the disease, the cheating is a symptom, is not the disease.
What I'm taking from you right now is that you're saying it's okay.
It sounds like I'm trying to set myself up some kind of leeway. I just feel like
because
we don't
it does sound like that.
No, but we don't have enough conversations. Like I feel like we have these simple conversations, right? Like we spoke about this weeks ago on the podcast, and we're always quick to judge a woman and slam her because she stayed with a man who cheated.
I don't judge and slam.
No, but we do that in the media, in entertainment.
Okay,
you know. Yeah. Some people, I've heard as far as people saying they used to think Beyonce was strong, but Beyonce staying with Jay-Z had made them lose her as an idol or someone to look up to. But because it's not black and white. Life is not black and white, but my thing about it is, to tolerate the cheating, everything else. First of all, the cheating can't be like, I cheat because, hey, that's your hobby. If cheating's your hobby, it's a dub. I can't be with someone who their cheating is a hobby. But my thing is also just like, is everything else working? Is everything else good? Our communication is good, this, that, and the other. And I happen to find out something, right? Because...
wait. I got to say this before I lose this. Because you said something like, oh, you guys been together for 10 to 15 years, so you're just going to break that up And no, my thing is this. Are you trying to tell me that just because we were together for 10 to 15 years, that it's okay to branch out just a little bit to see what another piece of pussy is like and then come back home? Or do you...
I'm not saying it's okay.
Because my thing is, like, at least let the person know, like, yo, this, that, and the third. Don't just go test the waters real quick and come back after you had a taste of ass. That doesn't make it okay because you guys been together for that many years.
All I'm saying is, I feel like discussions need to be had before you destroy your whole world over something like that.
That I agree.
I feel like we put the pressure on people to be like, oh, he cheated, oh, forget him, this, that, and the other, and not consider everything that's part of that whole conversation.
Okay.
And I guess this is a funny thing for me to say. I do feel like because a lot of people are in jobs and they hate their jobs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Don't you kind of interview before you tell your job F you and double middle fingers?
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing. Who drops, boom, I did my whole life for the last 15, 20 years, jump into something and just be like, I just want to be free and throw everything in away, and then realize like, shit, I threw everything away off a whim.
A lot of people do shit off a whim. That's when they fuck up.
You know what I mean?
They fuck up.
Because it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's an interesting conversation to have. I'm not saying it's justifiable.
Definitely an interesting conversation.
All right, cool. So we're going to move on to the next topic. The next topic is before I commit, right? And I feel like that's another thing. We grew up with our moms or our pops telling us, when you find somebody special, they got to fit certain parameters. They got to be on this checklist. They need to have a good-ass job, come from a good family or whatever, went to college, go to church, this, that, and the other. And you kind of find out you stick to these lists, and as we get older in our age, you kind of realize that, you know what, I'm flawed. So when I'm out here looking for people, they're flawed too. Yeah. But I still feel like we still have to sit down with ourselves and ask certain questions before I commit. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to discuss next. Before I commit, what questions you feel the first sub-question is, what questions do you feel we don't ask enough before we settle down?
What are your, as cliche as it sounds, I would say, what are your 2 to 5 year goals? Sometimes you and that person are not on the same level, and you get caught up in the nostalgia of he's brand new, oh, he seems great, but it's under the surface. And sometimes people, I remember I was conversing with someone, and I asked that question, and he told me that he doesn't set goals for his future because if he doesn't reach them, he gets disappointed in himself. And that fucking answer alone was like... Yeah, that's some weak... I understand where he's coming from. I understand where he's coming from. Okay, I think we all can understand where he's coming from. But that was some weak shit. That was. So therefore, guess what I did? That was the last conversation we had. Right? Because you don't have any ambition to make your life better than what you're doing. Yeah. And, so little simple questions like that, I would think, that's... But I do think the 2 to 5 goals things is a good thing to ask. Yes. I also feel like, what do you want from this relationship? Right. I feel like we spend a lot of time with people and we hope that if we sell ourselves well enough... That we could grasp them and... That we can interpret what they want from this relationship. No. Mm-hmm. Or we could change what they want from this relationship. But I feel like asking that question early prevents a lot of heartache. Exactly. Absolutely. I agree with you. You need to ask someone... before you commit to that next level as far as marriage and not just relationships. Mm-hmm. How's your credit? Oh, yes. Are you in debt? That is an excellent fucking question right there. If you're in debt, why are you in debt? Why? Yeah, you need to know that shit. That don't make a person a bad person if their credit is bad. Yeah, exactly. Or they're in debt. And even if they tell you they're in debt because of a foolish reason, I need to know, how have you changed? Right, exactly. Are you trying to pay off this debt? Yeah. That's a very good fucking question. We don't ask these questions enough. I think it's because a lot of people... We wind up married or with someone for years, and then you find out like, shit, this motherfucker got foreclosures, bankruptcies, all that. But since we didn't try to buy anything together, since we didn't try to get anything together, I just took this person's word as the person being stand up. Yeah,
And
a
I feel
mistake.
past a certain age, you got to be able to ask that.
I
question.
agree with that. Absolutely. I actually do not ask that question, but talking to someone, when you speak to them for a certain amount of time, I'm not saying that this is like getting around the question, but you start to hear like, wait a minute, what's wrong with this? Or I start hearing stories about their credit or what they couldn't get, and I'm like, oh, what happened? What's wrong?
You know, it's another question we don't ask before we commit.
What?
Do you have any homosexual tendencies? What is your views on sexuality? Have you ever asked somebody you with that question?
No.
We don't ask that question. We just hope. I've never asked my wife that question.
I don't ask that question, but
She's never asked me that question. We've been
Can
together
I-
10 years. And I say that to say this. How many people you hear heartbroken, go ahead, do your thing, when you find out that this dude has down low tendencies?
Okay.
But
so-
that's because it's so cliche, people don't ask that question.
I'm going to beat around that question and how I can get my answer without being so straightforward. Yeah. First of all, there are people that would deal with someone that's bisexual, so we're just going to put that aside. But if I wanted to find out without being so direct, I would say some shit like, how you feel about eating ass? And then they start saying, oh, I don't eat ass or this, that, and the third. How would you feel if a woman eats your ass? Do you think it's this way or that way? A lot of guys would give you your answer right there. Don't fucking play with me. Nothing comes near my butt or something like that. So then you might get your answer right there. Like, maybe he isn't. I don't know. And then that's when I guess you can start talking about, opposite sex.
Yeah. Another question that I think we don't ask, we don't sit down and have a question. We just kind of hope that our action prove it. Is this like, sex-wise, how often do you think we should have sex? How often are you comfortable with us having sex?
But you don't feel like someone could just answer that question
one way and it changes?
And then change the next way.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just
It
tell
does
him
change.
5 times a week because that's what I think he wants to hear and that's not who I really am.
Yeah. But you know what?
Right.
I think another thing, I asked the sexuality question because I always hear like married people have this conversation and it's just like expectation versus what the results are kind of thing.
Right.
I think a lot of times we have these kind of things and we're just hoping that things change,
Yeah.
things get better with time, but we wind up wasting a lot of time during that conversation. Another thing that I think, another question we don't ask before commit, what do you think about therapy? Have you ever been to a therapist?
But does the person need therapy?
Are you happy? Are you happy? Outside of our relationship, what makes you happy? What are the things that you're trying to accomplish? What is your happy place? What are the things that make you unhappy?
Okay. Yeah.
Another things we're afraid to ask the person we're with. What are the things I do that make you unhappy?
I'm not afraid to ask that. I've asked that before to people I was dating. Like, what are you not happy with or what do you feel?
I
think that's an important
question. Ask that question early.
You
because
do.
once you're
You
married
have to. You
and
can't-
once you're in the game,
It's harder to fix, right?
You're scared as hell to ask that question.
Why are you scared?
Because it just leads to drama.
Well, that means you're scared of communication.
No, but let me tell you, not all relationships start off as poor communication. It just eventually
That
trying
means
to
that if you
avoid-
can't ask that question, it's like you're walking on eggshells. If you cannot ask, what am I doing wrong? What is it that you don't like about me anymore?
Let me give you an example,
That's walking
right?
on fucking
Let me give you an
eggshells.
example. I know when she hears that, she's going to laugh, right? Even when it comes to food, right?
Already I'm laughing.
My wife, because anyone could see me, I need to eat more healthy, and we're always trying stuff like that. So she's always trying new dishes and stuff like that.
Okay.
If I feel a dish is questionable, I won't say it. I have to ask her, how did you feel about this dish?
A dish that she made?
Yes. If she gives me signs that, she loved it.
You're not gonna tell the truth? You're fucking fucked up.
No, I have to really think, how am I going to approach this if I don't like it? If she gives the leeway that she didn't care for it that much, I'd be like, I don't be like, damn, it was terrible. I just be like, you know what? Maybe this could have been different. But I'm not a cooker, right? I'm not a chef.
What could you make? Breakfast foods?
Breakfast foods. The sad thing about it is, I've made dishes before I was married. And that kind of like, since she took charge of it,
Yeah.
like, now I just cook simple stuff.
Okay.
But, before, I would make steak and rice for myself when I was like a bachelor or in college.
You need to continue making steak and rice. We don't stop the steak and rice when the ring gets on the finger.
But you know, me and my wife, we have very like specific dietary needs and what we eat and what we don't eat kind of thing. So I kind of let her hold. But I say that to say this. I'll be hesitant to even tell her I didn't like something. Right?
Yeah.
And you would think they're married for so long. Why would that be so?
Why can't he tell her?
Because communication becomes more difficult.
Are you worried about hurting her feelings by telling her the truth?
I worry about hurting her feelings. I worry about sounding ungrateful. Because if I ain't like it, then my black ass should have cooked it.
All right.
Cooked, you know?
Okay.
But that's something small. But I just
even
want
though
to say,
it's small, I'm going to make it big. Mm-hmm. So you won't tell her the truth. So now she thinks in her mind that you really like the food and she's going to make the shit again and you're not going to know. You know, she's not going to know the truth. Yeah. Just be like, babe, I really appreciate you cooking for me. But, you know, I felt like the steak was a little too tough or it just needed a little bit more salt. But it was really good, though. Like, it's always like throw a negative in there and curve it with a positive at the same time.
So what are the questions you feel like we don't ask enough before we commit?
Questions like, do you want to get married in your future? A lot of people feel like it's just a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. So I've made that mistake before as well with the father of my kids. Like, he felt like it was just a piece of paper. So if I would have asked that question early on, I would have known that I would never gotten married to this man, you know? Yeah. So that's definitely one. A lot of people just don't care for marriage. They feel like...
And you know what's tough about that?
What?
Because we live with such societal standards that if I meet you and you ask me what do you feel about marriage within 2 weeks, then you're going to
be thinking to yourself like, damn, this bitch talking about marriage already, right?
But like, why can't we be mature enough to have that conversation?
Then that's the person that's not for you. If you can't ask somebody a fucking question, it's not like, and you can actually state it like, listen, I'm not saying I want marriage right now, but how do you feel about marriage? Where's your mind about marriage in your future? And that's how you can get your answer.
Criminal background. We don't ask people.
Oh my God.
Getting arrested.
That is, I didn't even think about that. But
we don't ask these questions.
Be honest about that shit.
But my thing is, ask anyway.
Yeah.
If they lie to you, then now you have grounds to be upset.
You know what's so funny? I've never really asked that question. I've never asked that question.
Because we're in relationships and we're dealing with people and we fill in the blanks. I feel like that's the biggest mistake everyone making relationships. Yeah. If something's questionable, if we don't know, we fill in the blanks and we answer the questions with answers that we feel good about. But that doesn't work in life. Yeah. Ask the awkward questions.
I don't give a fuck. I'll ask you an awkward question. Those things don't bother me. I love asking questions. That's one thing I do. So there's a couple of things I'm going to take notes on. I'm going to ask for my future.
Because the reason why, because you want to ask these questions.
You need to know.
Yeah, and then, have goals that you want to accomplish without this person and with this person.
Right.
And speak to both of them, right? Because a lot of times we spend so much time trying to impress somebody.
Yeah.
You find out later that the person wants to be an astronaut, right? And in their heart, they really want to be an astronaut, but they never told you. So all this time you've been working with, you've been dating them, and they're a nurse, and they want to be an astronaut. And then when they bring it up, you're like, you want
to be a fucking astronaut? You tell me this shit.
Yeah, but because a lot of times we suppress our true feelings, our happiness, because we want to impress the person that we with.
That's true, and it's sad. Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next question before I commit is, why do we put so much weight on sex as a barometer or whether to settle down or not? Because I know so many people who are in relationships, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at them, you hear them talk, you're like, yo, you guys shouldn't even have went on a second date, let alone be in a relationship with kids. But why? Yo, the sex was bomb. Like, you based a life decision because the sex was bomb. And also on the tail end, someone's great, but then people break up because sex became such a awkward or taboo thing.
If Cliff was here, he could really go in on that question because we were talking about this on one of the shows that we had. But for like I said, everyone's different. For me, I've never had sex so good that I'm like, I gotta stay because he was a freak. Yeah. No, not really.
I've had sex where it's just like I was on the fence about leaving or not, and then
the sex is so good.
It's just like, you know what? I need to push this contract back a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a end all be all kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times we put that pressure
emphasis on that.
on the sex is good, then I can continue with this person.
I've never been there before, so I can't really answer. But I have seen a lot of my homegirls go through some shit for a guy with some good dick. Yeah, and I'm like, girl,
and don't get it twisted. Like, yo, you gotta be happy. Life is short, so I definitely don't, diminish the levels of good sexual chemistry. But I just feel like, yo, stop making somebody permanent. You know how many baby fathers, baby mothers are out there because of good sex? That's it.
I know.
I think people always put the pressure on marriage. To me, the worst thing is having children with someone that you don't know, don't care for because of good sex.
That's fucked up. Never been there before.
But a lot of people are in situations because of that.
know.
We put too much emphasis on sex.
Why do you think?
Because we're creatures of flesh, of lust, of we confuse passion and lust with love and necessity and need. And as a married man, I got to check myself on that as well, right? Because sometimes you're like, yo, man, because of sex, you'll drive decisions or you'll determine your happiness because of sex or not. And you got to realize, like, your life is bigger than that.
Yeah, that's true.
But we put so much weight on sex and sex being good and sex being frequent enough or sex being like, your happy place. It's good. Sex should make you happy, place, right?
Sorry, yeah.
But if on both sides of the spectrum, if sex is the only reason why you're there and sex is the only reason why you want to leave, you need to check the overall situation.
You gotta check it. Because that shit is gonna fade.
It's gonna fade.
It's definitely gonna fade.
And not only that, it's just like, sex used to be good, but our bodies change. Our fatigue levels, our energy levels change and stuff like that. And once you can't have that same...
I haven't been there yet where my body has changed.
No, but once
I don't want dick. It's never
I'm not...
never,
it's never that you lose a desire for it. But sometimes the performance might change.
Nah, yeah, I understand.
The frequency might change.
Yeah.
The timing of when you want it might change.
Yeah.
And then once those things change...
Scary.
You no longer can have a conversation with that person. They no longer make you laugh. You no longer plan things because the sex is fizzled. What are you left with?
Communication. Is like, I can't stress that enough. Any married couple, any regular couple, whatever they'll tell you, even a regular friendship, communication is always the key. When you're scared to communicate and you're scared to say, hey, babe, we don't go out as often.
I leave it as this.
Or you don't suck as often. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because
things like that are very
thing,
important to discuss with your loved ones.
We've been saying this for years on the show. Like, I always get backlash from it, but I feel like girlfriends give better head than wives. And it could be the same person, but I feel like once you graduate to the next title, it's not the same. Some people is different. Some people are passionate about oral sex. Some men, because when they're dating, it seems freaky to say, oh, I might eat ass or I might eat vagina. And then when they get settled in, they stop doing that. And that's a bad thing because we sell false representatives of ourselves. But to stick to the sex thing, I always tell people, like, if the person you with don't make you laugh or make you think, then you don't need to be with them. That person needs to make you think, evaluate what you're doing in life, what you want.
This is your perspective.
My perspective. And that person needs to make you laugh, right? Because at the end of the day, when life is so much pressure on you, if you can't laugh with that person and just be like, it's going to be another day, you're just with a dead-end situation.
Okay, I can agree with that.
So the last question on the topic before I commit is, do you think our selection process gets better with age?
Yes.
Or do we tend to lower our standards?
Look, I'm on this shit.
Or do we tend to lower our standards?
Yes. No.
I think it's a combination of both.
I think the older I've gotten is just like, nope, I ain't taking that shit. Everything's off my checklist. Like, nope, standards are getting higher because you experience all the bullshit and you're like, I don't want to go through this again. He's displaying signs of Tom, Dick, and Harry, so he's about to be out the door. Absolutely. I feel like the older I got, my standards got higher. That's it. Right? You can't agree on that?
I think it's a combination of both.
All right, let's go.
And not that you lower. There's a difference between lower standards sound bad, but I feel like prioritizing the weight of what's important and what's not is different. When you're a kid, you like, yo, she needs to have these measurements. She needs to have a family.
Okay, physically, my standards change in terms
as
of
a
that.
younger person is like that. Oh, she needs to have long hair or these superficial kind of things. And then you get older and you're just like, yo, I don't need all that. I need like, yo,
I don't need a woman with a fatty, right?
You need attraction, but at the same time, you also like, man, is she a good woman?
Yeah.
I don't have children, but if I had children, will she be good to my kids? Will she love my kids? Another thing is, will she have respect for my mom?
That's a great question.
Will she show respect in front of my family? Will I be able to...
Can you bring her home to mama?
Can I bring her around my friends and have open, good dialogue and conversation? Will I be embarrassed to have conversation with her around my people? Can she hold a conversation? You meet people at different times in their lives and maybe their goals are different. Maybe she don't have aspiration of being the CEO of a company anymore.
Right.
But, what does she want to do with her time? How much of her time does she contribute to like doing something productive? Does she just want to stay at home and not do anything productive?
Do shit, yeah.
You got to ask these certain things, So I do feel like our standards change as we get older. Our selection process, to me, I feel like becomes better because we know what we don't like. Exactly. That's why I always, when I talk
I told you about that checklist.
When I talk to the younger kids and the younger men and talk to them about relationships, I'm not a relationship expert. I say, but what I've learned is what makes me happy and what's important for me to get by. You need to pick someone who's supportive of you.
Yeah.
You need someone who has the right ideal of you need someone who knows what makes them happy. Because a lot of times we date people who are looking to find happiness in us.
And somebody else, and they don't have it in themselves. That's dangerous.
Right? Because you won't know. I could be doing everything that should make you happy, but since you don't know what happy is, you may either not appreciate it or over prioritize it. Like, you know what? Like I was saying before, he ain't shit to me, but you know what? The bills are always paid, and I don't have to stress about bills. So now you think I'm a good person to be with. Meanwhile, you're not growing as a person.
And that's why
Meanwhile, we can have conversations. You're bored. I criticize everything that you like. You criticize everything I like, and we're toxic to each other.
Yeah.
But when the first come, the mortgage is paid, the car notes get paid, everything's good. I have money in my bank account, so I'm good. Or at least in your head, you think you're good. So one day you realize, like, yo, I've been with someone for years and I don't know them, or they don't make me happy. Yeah. We don't laugh no more. We don't do anything no more. We're in a partnership. And relationships are partnerships, but at the same time, the benefit needs to be more than just stability.
Yeah.
It needs to be happy. It needs to be growth. It needs to be able for us to, like, you know what? I'm a better person because you're in my life.
Yeah. I
don't need you to better me, but I'm a better person because you're in my life. And a lot of times we don't have that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I do think lower standards is bad. I feel like we change our priorities.
Our priorities do change.
Right? And then our selection process.
You really don't like that, huh? Lower your standards.
Yeah, because it'll make you feel like you settle with someone, and maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe it's just like, you know what? I was looking for someone who looked like Beyonce or Rihanna, but I found a good woman who may not look like Beyonce or Rihanna, but at the same time is beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Pushes me to be a better person.
Yeah.
And makes me laugh. We don't put enough weight on someone that makes you laugh and makes you smile all the time. Because someone can freak you for 30 minutes a day, but you can't stand them outside of that 30 minutes. Okay. And it's more toxic to you than beneficial, but they freak the hell out of you for 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week. And we put a priority on that or a standard onto that or make that something that we strive for, and then we realize we're empty inside because we're not getting other things.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. So we're going to go to the last topic real quick because we only got a couple minutes. It's called Loving Your DM. And I wish Clifford was here, right? Because Clifford and his wife met on Facebook. They had mutual. No, he says that.
For whatever reason, I thought they met not in college, but I don't know.
They both were in college at the time that they met. But Clifford went to Binghamton. She went to Stony Brook.
Okay.
I don't know how much of the information I should give. But Clifford mentions that he met her on Facebook or whatever. And I say that to say this. A lot of times, women are bad-mouthing the messages they have in their DMs, or look at these thirsty dudes. And some dudes don't have no class. Some dudes are like, hey, boo, and then a dick pic comes right after that,
yes.
right? So don't get it twisted.
I will agree with that.
But sometimes love is in your DM, right? So I want to have a quick conversation on that. So many random people shoot their shots in the DM. Do you think love can be waiting in these unseen messages?
Absolutely. I believe that.
You never know.
I believe that.
You
never know. It's
like,
up to the person to actually give that a chance.
Yeah, I've had a lot of, like, before I met my wife, I had a lot of bad online catfishing and, like, meeting people through, like, I'm going to date myself, the MySpace and College Club and Black Planet. Shout out to Black Planet. Black Planet's Solange, like, updated her page, and then Black Twitter's been bugging about Black Planet being back. But I say that to say this. A lot of times in our messages, there's a lot of filth that we have to climb through.
Yeah.
But there's some diamonds in the rough in your DMs. So I feel like, yo, if you're single, go through your DMs, give it a shot. Not everything's going to be gold, but there may be somebody genuine in your DM. What do you think?
I definitely can agree. It all depends on the person to give them a chance. A lot of times, though, for me, I kind of wouldn't and I would. I would because I do see a lot of great men on my Facebook. But then I wouldn't because even though my social media life is my real life, like nothing on there is fake, but I don't want them to see just that and then go off of that, off of my personality and stuff. I want them to get to know me, not just the stuff that I throw on Facebook. A lot of times I feel like, oh yeah, she's funny, she's this, she's that, and the third, and then when they meet me, it could be something totally different, you know what I mean? So, but I do think that love is, I know a lot of people who got together by Facebook and Instagram
I said,
alone.
Clifford and his wife strong.
Yeah.
So my next question is, have you ever met someone special through your DM?
Someone special like what? Because I'm still single, so it's not like.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I've met friends.
At any
I
point,
had friends.
Any point in your life, I've met a very special person on at a particular point in my life. Someone special through.
Yeah, I've met special people on Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people, even when I have my social media breaks, a lot of people check on me and stuff like that. Yeah. And those are the people that I hold dear to me because they really care about me.
And then sometimes even in spaces that aren't like, sometimes we have so many accounts like Plenty of Fish, like somebody cool might be on Plenty of Fish, but you're not on it like that. You're not on it like you're on IG.
I had a Plenty of Fish account. We're friends now. Like, we're actually good friends to the point where he's telling me about his lifestyle and, vice versa. So, yes, you can absolutely find special people.
So, the next question is DM flirting cheating or is not real till it's taken offline? Because a lot of spicy stuff get exchanged through the DMs.
And I'm in a relationship?
Yeah.
It's cheating. Fuck am I flirting with somebody and through my DMs? Like, oh, how you doing, sweetie? Good morning. Hope you have a good day. Okay, that's good. Thank you. You too. That's it. But then when it goes beyond that, it's like, nah, I got a man.
Some people entertain their DMs. Some people feel like, this is fake life. But the reason what's crazy about that is so many people out here clout chasing. Mm-hmm. Some people will know you're in a relationship and go in your DM just to see if they could ruffle feathers. So you got to be careful out there.
It's up to me to stop that. So in other words, if I'm in a relationship, all that DM shit stops. It gets shut down.
To me, DM flirting is not right, but it's not cheating until it materializes into something.
But don't you think if you continuously talk to this person and whatever the case may be,
like
as
disrespectful as it sounds, it does
sound disrespectful.
As verified Rihanna came into my DMs, it was talking spicy. I'd let her know I'm married, but I'd be so flattered I'd return messages.
No!
I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying that. If Idris Elba came into my wife's DM, was talking crazy, I'd be like, yo, don't meet up with this dude, but yo, you got to enjoy yourself, man. I don't have an ego like that. No, finish that. Clap that. All right, so
I'll finish.
The last question on this topic is it foul to expose DM shot taking if the person wasn't disrespectful?
Ooh, wasn't disrespectful? Yeah. It's foul. I think it's foul.
Yeah, but a lot of people are clout chasing. Sometimes someone will be like, you know what? I seen your profile, thought you was handsome. I followed your post, and you say some witty stuff, this, that, and the other. obviously I'm in a relationship, so if you go through my stuff, you'll see that I'm in a relationship.
Right.
But sometimes people don't know, right? And they're just trying to be nice, polite. I feel like clout chasers screenshot. Oh, this person's thirsty. I didn't see no thirsting at all. The person was trying to politely reach to you.
I would never do that. There's people in my DM that are married, and I'm like, oh, you're married, so no. Like just the other day, someone was like, oh, well, can we at least be friends? I'm like, we're Facebook friends. That's enough. And he's like, can I have your number? And I'm like, no.
There's no need for it.
You're married. Yeah. There's no need. We're friends on Facebook. That's enough. And that's it. I would never screenshot that and expose somebody. No.
Some people out here clout chasing. I feel like sometimes I compliment. I'm like, oh, beautiful, nice pic. This and that. There's levels to it. Some people might be like, well, you're married. Why are you telling that woman that her picture's beautiful? I'm like, she's a friend, Facebook friend. That's a beautiful pic. Yeah. I didn't say, damn, Mom, when you going to sit on my face? I said, you had a beautiful pic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I don't know. The moral of the story is like, yo, don't completely ignore your DMs. There could be some gold in there.
There could be some love in
Under
that
the filth, there's to be some gold in it.
There's
you know
some
what I'm saying?
love in that bitch.
And spring love is in the air, so, check out your DMs. So
wait a minute. I thought spring was here, so it's time to be a slut because the weather's getting warmer. Now
no, spring is preparation.
For what?
Slutting season is the summer.
Oh, my God.
So this is getting ready for that.
So there's no love in the DM in April.
You never know. You never know. You may have to pick your prospect to cuddle for in fall because they in your DMs for spring. You're going to ignore them all summer, though. Summer smut season. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? That's the end of this episode. I thought this was a very fun episode. Thank you for having a good conversation. We're going to end it out. So, do your shout outs before we.
I like to shout out my family, my twins. I love my boys very much. My mom and everyone who's listening. One of my friends, his name is Aleem. I like to give him a shout out as well. And that's it.
Yeah. I want to shout out to everybody supporting me. Shout out to my boy Leon. He's a good friend of mine. He's always supporting the show. He's also, telling me things we need to do, talk about. So he's like, yo, give me a shout out. So shout out to Leon Martin, Leander Martin. He always tells me to say his name. Shout out to everybody who's supporting us. We had back-to-back 50K shows. So that's good viewership.
Good.
You know what I mean? No, I don't want to put pressure on us to always be 50K. Sometimes it'll range, but just to show that it's growth and people showing love, I appreciate it. And I always tell everybody, taxes may not be here yet. Don't ball out on your taxes.
I'm ready to see some tax booty. You know what I'm saying? Some new fresh ass.
Yeah, but like I always tell people, go out there and chase your legacy, right? Because it lasts longer than your liabilities. And we out. Peace.
Bye. Views. That was dope. I like that. Good show. I don't know. This is so good. Don't they have mango or something? Oh, this is mango. I thought this was the peach.
Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo. Views from the friend zone. I'm trying to reach the end zone. You think I'm kinda sweet and you wanna be friends though? It's cool though. Just don't try to play me for no fool, yo.